You are showing up consistently trying to grow your business, and you finally figured out all of the adages about you just have to be consistent to grow your business. You just have to show up consistently on social media. You finally realize that it takes more than consistency to show up to grow your business. Today, I want to break down that misconception, the myth of consistency, and how it takes far more than simply showing up regularly to grow your business. You've probably figured that out by now. So you might be thinking, I post every day, across all these different platforms. I'm emailing my list. I'm showing up. So why am I not getting the results that I should be getting? Because they told me I need to be consistent, right? If that's how you're feeling, today's live stream for you. Today, I want to break down that myth of consistency and why it takes consistency plus a few other things to grow your business. The hidden systems that make your consistency actually work for you. And finally, I'm gonna give you some real world examples of solopreneurs before and afters so that you can see where your gaps are, where your weaknesses are, and hopefully fill in those weaknesses. And of course, at the end, I'll show you how we can work together with the Marketing Strategy VIP Day. And I can help you around with all of this, okay? If you're not familiar with me, hello, I am Miss Kemya, marketing strategist over at marketingsparkler.com. And I am the one that you hire when you are wearing all the hats. You are doing the marketing, you're doing accounting, you're doing the operations, you are taking care of the kids, you're taking out the trash, you're buying the coffee, you're going grocery shopping, and yet you have to figure out how to consistently market your business. I'm the one you call to consistently market your business so that you can get back to running a business that you started because you love what you do. And I can focus on your marketing so that you don't have to worry about it. It's one less thing to worry about. And a professional has it covered. Okay? So with that said, let's get real. Posting content regularly across a bunch of platforms. Yes, that is consistent. If you're consistent, if you're doing it daily or every other day, doing the marketing, all the things. However, you need to add a few layers to your consistency with however you're marketing your business so that it can effectively drive the results you're looking for. So if you're feeling productive but not profitable, today's live stream is for you. Okay, because if your marketing doesn't have a strategy, no amount of consistency is going to work. Now, before I go any further, please let me know where you're tuning in from. If you're watching a replay, then drop a comment and tell me replay. And I want you to make sure to let me know if this has been helpful. And if you have any additional questions, just drop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer, okay? So let's get off the treadmill. I've been there, and I have to remind myself to stay off the treadmill, running in circles, trying to market your business because you're showing up everywhere. Okay, so let me give you an example. My client, Rachel, right? She's a solopreneur. She does virtual design workshops. She was doing all the things every day. Okay, she was posting reels. She where else was she? She was doing live Q&As. She was sending regular emails to her list every week like clockwork, but nothing was working. And so when we did an audit, we worked together and we did an audit, come to find out, her email newsletters didn't have a call to action. So there was no next step. They were informative, no call to action. Her reels, same thing. They were fun and entertaining, but they didn't drive. They went from awareness to fun. They just kind of stayed in that loop, and they weren't actually telling people what the next step is that she wanted them to take. And her lives, again, informative, great question answer sessions. However, she was answering the questions, but wasn't giving people the opportunity to take it the next step to work with her further. And therein really lies the problem when you talk about consistency. When everybody talks about consistency, the problem with consistency is that stuff is not tied to anything. It's not tied to call to action. It's not tied to goals or anything. So she was consistent, but she wasn't strategic. And a block I see all the time with entrepreneurs like this is they think effort and activity is supposed to bring results, right? You're doing all the things. Why are you not getting results? You're showing up every day, so you assume the success will follow. You assume the customers and the clients will be lining up to work with you. They'll be in your DMs, but without an actual system, you're just creating content noise. So let me ask you, based on what I just said so far, does every one of your posts or your emails or your videos you're creating drive you toward a specific goal? Do you have calls to action that helps your viewers take a logical next step? Or are you doing what so many people do? Are you posting content because you know you have to, but are you posting content just to stay visible? Now think about that. Are you posting content just to stay visible? And I'm gonna give you a hint if you're not sure how to answer that question. If you post motivational quotes, you're likely posting content to stay visible. If you're constantly be sharing everybody else's stuff, but not creating your own original content, you're likely posting content just to stay visible. Because here's, sidebar. When you're posting everybody else's stuff, you are not showing your originality or your train of thought. You're sharing other people's stuff. So if you saw me posting everybody else's stuff and I never posted my own, how does that prove I know what I'm doing? It doesn't. So stop that. You can share other people's content, but you have to include your own original content whenever you're posting and sharing things online, okay? You aren't alone. We're going to take a step towards fixing that, okay? So the next thing I want to do is redefine consistency, okay? I want to redefine consistency. Let me know if you have any questions about this, what we're talking about. Please let me know. And I'll be happy to answer. I'm monitoring the chat, okay? So let's redefine consistency. Because the way most people think about consistency is just all wrong. And you've even heard some marketers say it. It's all wrong. They say just be consistent. Here's the truth. Consistency without clarity does not breed results. You are literally repeating the same mistakes over and over again. So you're consistently doing the wrong things. You're consistently making mistakes. Here's what real consistency looks like. It looks like alignment, not activity. It's aligned with your goals. When you're consistently aligned with your goals, it's not about a bunch of activity. It's about what your goals are and how to affect your bottom line. You're not feeding an algorithm. You're not worried about an algorithm. You're not wasting energy. You're aligning with your goals. So consistency is about alignment. Consistency is about intention. Why are you even publishing content in the first place? Every piece of content should have a purpose. And yes, some of it can be fun. Some of it can be entertaining. But fun and entertainment, I'm not in the entertainment industry. I'm not a celebrity. Fun and entertainment does not demonstrate my expertise and credibility as a marketing strategist, does it? So you can have fun. I'm not saying don't have fun and don't throw entertainment in. But every piece of content should have a purpose. If you decide on Thursdays you want to post a piece of fun or entertainment, that is still a purpose. But ask yourself, what do I want my audience to do after I post this piece of content? Wherever it is, what do you want your audience to do? If the answer is I don't know, then the content is not strategic, okay? And third, consistency is about systems. I know it is not a sexy thing to talk about. It's not glamorous. Nobody really sees it, but consistency is all about systems. You need to have a system. You do not need to be on every platform every day. Please stop trying to wear all the hats, and you're wearing yourself too thin. Don't spread yourself out so thin. You don't need to be on every platform every day. You need a repeatable process that keeps your marketing consistent even when life gets busy. Even when life gets busy, your system is working for you in the background 24 hours a day. Okay, because let's face it, life be lifing. And sometimes we can't get to the things that we want to get to. When you have a system in place, you don't have to worry. And you don't have to pick up your phone, as we all do, because, oh crap, I haven't posted on such and such platform. Oh crap, I haven't emailed my list in 3 weeks. Systems are how you stay visible and how you stay sane, okay? So here's the shift I want you to make. You ready? Stop Measuring consistency by how often you post. Measure consistency by how your actions align with your strategy. Okay, let me tell you, I would rather see you post twice a week on LinkedIn where you know your audience is looking for you and you have a purpose and you have calls to action and you're getting DMs than you posting 5 times a week on Instagram with no plan in sight. Okay. It's not about quantity of content. It's about quality of content. So if you're posting every day, or if you feel like you're posting and it's not getting your results, sit with that for a minute. Is this hitting home with you? Can you make a shift right now to gain some clarity so that your consistency breeds the results you're looking for? I hope so. Okay, because now, remember I said earlier, I want to tell you about systems that make consistency work. Just three basic systems. Just looking at the time. I'll run through real quick, okay? First system you need. Well, let me back up. I call these systems my marketing systems triangle. It's three. They're three essential systems every business owner needs. Doesn't matter what niche it is. You don't have to say, Miss Kemya, does that work for me? Never ask me that. It's going to work for you. Marketing is for everyone. Okay, it's for everyone, no matter what obscure niche you think you're in. What I'm saying still applies to you. Okay, so fret not. This is for you. Okay, marketing systems triangle. The first system you need is a visibility system. What's a visibility system? This is how to get people to actually see your content, right? You need people to actually see your content. So, for example, Tom was a financial coach, right? He was posting 5 times a week across 4 platforms. Sounds good, right? Guess what? His audience was not even seeing him because he didn't focus on where his ideal client spent time. He focused on platforms that everybody else said they were using, and they were more fun. So what did we do? We looked at his data, the native analytics on all the platforms he was using, and we figured out his audience was on LinkedIn. And email was a great traffic driver for him. Got his phone ringing. So we mapped his audience, and what did we do? We focused on LinkedIn, we focused on email, because 80% of his leads were coming from those 2 spots. So we said, skip everything else. You don't have to post all the time everywhere else. And so what we did is we actually repurposed the LinkedIn posts and the email content. We repurposed it for other channels so that he wasn't creating new content for 4 different platforms every single day. Complete waste of his time. We created that system so that people could see him. And of course, his engagement went up and his DMs went up because that's where his leads were coming from in the first place, right? Okay, so that's the first system you need. You need a visibility system. The second system you need is your conversion system. How are you going to get people to convert to become actual leads instead of likes? How are you going to get them to go from likes to leads, okay? And what we did there, we needed to create a path to conversion. Because if you don't have a path to conversion, it's like a filling a bucket with holes in it. Stuff is just kind of flowing through and pouring out. That's not helpful for you as a business owner, right? You need to keep everything in the bucket, okay? And so Jasmine, she was a wellness coach, and she posted inspirational content daily. You know, those quotes and memes, right? You know those, right? But they had no clear call to action, right? Inspiration is great. Inspiration makes you feel good, doesn't make you take action, okay? And as a wellness coach, she wanted people to feel good. And I was like, that's cool and all. However, my job is to help you figure out how to get the phone ringing, how to get clicks to your website, how to get people to book inquiries, right? It's not my job to make people feel good. So we took her feel good and we looked at what she was posting. Her posts were liked, they were even shared, they were commented on, but she wasn't actually booking clients. Why? Because she didn't tell them what to do next. So we did like some micro conversion activities. And so every time she posted, we would add a specific call to action, like comment for a tip, or, you know, DM us for a free guide, that type of thing. Click here to schedule a clarity call. And that's how those likes and comments and shares started translating into conversions. We created a simple, see, that sounds simple, right? We created a simple content to client path, a simple path, turning engagement into actionable steps. And that's all she needed. She just needed that tweak, right? But again, it was a result of an audit that we conducted. So in 30 days, she actually booked 5 clients directly from a specific platform just by connecting her content to her offers. And so a lot of the times, what I find is solopreneurs think if people engage, they'll buy. Remember I said Jasmine had likes, she had shares, she had comments. Nobody was booking. It takes more than engagement. Engagement is great, but you need a clear step to tell people what to do, a clear next step to conversion. And again, we created a simple content to client path for her. The third system. So the first system you need is a visibility system. The second system you need is a conversion system. And finally, the third system you need is a tracking system. You just got to figure out how to track and measure what you're doing. Don't guess. If you watch me at any point before, guessing kills momentum. You've heard me say the details are in the data. You have to look at the data. You cannot measure what you do not track, right? And so, for example, I work with a client. She was offering virtual assistant services, right? So she was creating content on, where was she at? Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. But she didn't know where her leads were coming from. She had no idea. Now, remember, I said she was posting on Instagram, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. 3 different platforms, the use case for each platform is completely different. Why people go on Instagram is very different than why they're scrolling on Pinterest. It's very different than why they're on LinkedIn, right? So she had 3 different types of content rolling out. No idea what was driving leads. So what we did, we looked at her analytics. We looked at the data. Details are in the data, right? And we tracked her website clicks. We tracked her email signups. We tracked those DMs. Turns out LinkedIn was her best performer. LinkedIn was her best performer. So what did we do? We doubled down on LinkedIn. Pinterest wasn't driving any traffic. We completely cut out Pinterest. And then we did some tweaks because she loved Instagram. We did some tweaks to keep her consistently posting and engaging on Instagram, but that was minimal. Okay? We doubled down on LinkedIn. And what happened? She was getting more clients. We just tweaked what she was doing. Same effort, 3 times the results, and far less time wasted. We completely cut out a platform that was driving 0 results. If somebody's driving 0 results, we need to get rid of that and focus on what is driving results. And that's what we did, okay? So I know a lot of times we avoid metrics because we don't like numbers. I love numbers. Numbers don't lie. Instead of thinking about how you don't like numbers, think about those numbers as revenue because you like money, right? Yeah, you do. So think about those numbers as money, as revenue. You need to look at your metrics. They are not scary. Numbers cannot jump off the screen and bite you. Data gives you clarity. Okay, data gives you clarity. You don't have to guess and wonder, and data doesn't judge. So don't be scared of the numbers. Instead, use the numbers as fuel to figure out what you're doing with your business and how you can make it better to grow, okay? So what is the takeaway from this? Showing up consistently is important. It's very important for you to show up consistently for your audience. However, if you do not have a system for visibility, a system for conversion, a system for tracking, consistency alone will not grow your business. I think we can all agree at this point that show up consistently is only half the story, right? Drop a comment in the chat and let me know if you understand that consistently showing up is only half of the story. It's only a piece. It's not the full story. And you've probably experienced that by now. So here's what I want you to take away from today. Okay? Consistency is not your problem. Strategy is. Showing up every day does not guarantee results, but showing up with a clear plan aligned with your goals, the content you're creating, and your metrics, that's where the real growth happens, okay? So here's how to take this into action. I'm gonna give you step by step, okay? Audit your current marketing. What's working, what's not, what are you doing, where are you posting, how's it working out for you? Then make a simple visibility plan. Pick 1 or 2 channels, plan your posting strategy. Create a clear conversion path. Look at your calls to action if you have some. Should you be changing your call to action? Are you even using a call to action? Are you telling people what to do? Are you responding? Are you engaging back? Are you telling people the next step? Each post should lead someone closer to the sale. And finally, the tracking system, implement a tracking system. Measure what's actually generating leads. Even if you have to ask people, where's the last place you saw me? What made you book this call? A lot of times they'll say, oh, I saw that post about such and such. Ask. When all else fails, ask people where they're coming from, how they're finding you, what made them click. What did I say that resonated with you? Those types of things. So I'll stop you. Drop a comment and let me know, what did I say that resonated with you today? I'd love for you to share. And doing this on your own, we all know, of course, can feel overwhelming, which is exactly why I created a marketing strategy VIP day. If you want more help and want to focus 4-hour session, we will do everything I just told you. Audit your current marketing, identify gaps in your visibility system, identify gaps in your conversion system, figure out a simple tracking system and identify gaps if you have a tracking system so that we can find the details in that data and we can double, triple down on what's working, eliminate what's not, and ultimately build you a 90-day roadmap to grow your business with clarity and actionable steps. Okay. With that said, if you've been feeling frustrated because you're posting consistently, not seeing results, here's the reality. It's not your fault. You just didn't know all the pieces. You knew the first part was posted consistently. You didn't know the rest of the pieces. Okay. So again, if you want my help, you're more than welcome to drop a comment, send me a DM, or email me at Kemya@marketingsparkler.com. I'd be happy to help you. Until next time, enjoy the rest of your day.